Salvete discepoli. In this video, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to take a sidestep from the Henley book. Just for this video, we're going to still practice what the Henley book is teaching us right now, but we're going to not be doing an exercise from the book. Instead, we're going to take a look at the Holy Cross apse. The apse is the part of the dome. Excuse me, while I plug in the computer, I started recording and then realized how low the battery was. So the apse is the dome, and you probably recognize these. You probably recognize that they are in Latin. I'm going to tell you what they mean in this video, and we're going to be working with these, okay? So we're going to start with cruere perunxit. We're actually going to skip this one when we work with these terms, because cruere perunxit is just different. I'll still tell you what it means, though. It means anointed. Perunxit means anointed by blood or by gore. Cruere is more like by gore, so like not just the blood but the solids as well. So cruere perunxit, anointed by gore. The rest of these all are a noun paired with an adjective, and we've got different pairings of different kinds of nouns and different kinds of adjectives, which makes this particular exercise with these particular terms so useful. Okay, lignum dulce, we have it means sweet wood, and we have an adjective just like your third declension adjectives from your Henley book that you're in right now. It's dulcis dulce, and lignum is a second declension neuter word. And so it makes sense that because lignum is neuter, we're using dulce, right? Because dulcis is for masculine and feminine, and then dulce is for the neuter. So that kind of makes sense, right? And I want to say too that these are all in the nominative, okay? Because they're not in a sentence up here, right? No one's saying I see the sweet wood or with the sweet wood or anything like that. So they're just standing here, just kind of naming the Holy Cross. So they're all in the nominative. Arbor nobilis. Arbor is tree, nobilis is noble. We've had both of these words in our vocab. You may not have had arbor yet, although if you haven't, it's soon to come, but it means tree. You probably knew that already anyway. Arbor digna means worthy tree. And so there's a dignus aum with arbor, with a third declension noun, and a second declension adjective. Here we have crux fidelis, faithful cross, another third declension noun with a third declension adjective. And we have arbor alta, which is tall tree. Altus aum, that's a first and second declension adjective, with arbor again, a third declension noun. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be writing a sentence for each of these. We're going to skip cruere perunxit, of course, but what we're going to do is we're going to put this term in the case that's shown here. So lignum dulce, we're going to put in the ablative. So lignum dulce is sweet wood. So we're going to say something like somebody does something with the sweet wood, or or something like that, something that would put it in the ablative. Then we're going to use arbor nobilis, but we're going to put it in the accusative. So we're going to say somebody sees the noble tree, or somebody has a noble tree, or something like that. Arbor digna, we're going to use with the genitive. So something of the worthy tree. Crux fidelis, we're going to put in the dative. And then arbor alta, it's going to stay arbor alta because we're going to put it in the nominative, and it's already in the nominative, but we're going to put it in a sentence, okay? So before we do that, though, let's fully decline each of these. So you know what it looks like to decline a single word. To decline lignum, for example, we sing the song, o, right? So, so ligni would be of the wood. O, and then here it would be lignum again, and then ligno. O. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to decline, pretend that we're in a separate chart, declining dulcis dulce, and when we do that, we've got 3 charts, but we're pretending that this is the third of those charts. We're declining the dulce one. So if we have dulce here in the nominative, it has to be dulce again in the accusative. So lignum dulce and lignum dulce, it has to be the same, right? But the endings may not all match up because, or they're not going to really match up because lignum is a second declension neuter word and dulcis dulce is a third declension adjective. So they already aren't matching up. They have an with an E, okay, with an A ending. How does the third declension genitive go? That's dulcis, right? So ligni dulcis, it would be the way to say of the sweet wood. Ligni dulcis, of the sweet wood. But we want lignum dulce to be in the ablative. So we're going to use what we find down here. We're just going to put it, we're fully decline it and put it in all its forms. Okay. Dative. Well, that would be dulci, ligno dulci. So that lignum dulce, and then remember this one's going to be dulci as well because of the I stem nature of third declension adjectives. So ligno dulci would be cum ligno dulci would be with sweet wood, or out of the sweet wood, ex ligno dulci, out of the sweet wood. And let's finish it up. Ligna would be woods. Ligna, dulce, and then we're going to say dulcia, ligna dulcia, sweet woods in the nominative. We're going to have eum, right? Aurum, lignorum, lignorum, dulcium. Aurum is, so this would be lignis, and I'll put lignises here as well. And we're only going to fully decline one of these, okay? The rest we're just going to kind of skip and get to the one we need for the sentence, all right? But I just want you to know what we're doing. So this one would be ligna dulcia again, because these have to completely match one another for neuter words. And then lignis dulcibus. Oh, and these would be dulcibus. Okay, so we have one fully declined. And I'm going to circle, and I'm going to highlight, actually, the one that we need for the sentence. Okay. We need the accusative for number 3. And we're not going to use any of the plurals because there's only one holy cross, right? For number 4, we need the genitive. For number 5, we need the dative. And then number 6, we need the nominative, and we already have it. Okay. So let's move on to number 3. Arbor nobilis. So we're going to decline arbor first. Various is em, so arborum. And remember, arbor arboris is how we get the stem. That's how I knew to put arborem and not just arbem, right? arborem, and then nobilis in the accusative. So we would have nobilem. Arborem nobilem. Crux fidelis. Various is e. So crux. What was the stem of crux? Crux crucis, right? Crux crucis. So cruc is our stem. Cruci is the dative. Okay, and then fidelis. Fidelis, fidelis. Fideli. Cruci fideli. To the holy cross. Or to the faithful cross, rather. Cruci fideli. Or for the faithful cross. Skipping to number, we went down to 5. Let's go back to 4. Arbor digna, various is, so arboris. And then digna, dignus a. And so we want, arbor is a feminine word. How do we know that arbor is a feminine word? Because over here in the last one, we see arbor alta, right? So tree is feminine and arbor digna. And so that tells us that it's feminine. And so when we decline, we want to go I. And so we're going to go digne. Arboris digne, of the worthy tree. And now we have everything that we need highlighted. Now we're doing pretty good on time. Do you think we should just fully decline one more? I think we should. Okay. We got various is e. So arbori means to the tree. How do we say to the noble tree? We're going to go nobilis. All these things that end in is are going to be is in both of them, right? Because is is our genitive ending for the third declension. And so if the nominative has is, well, the genitive still has it too. Arbor nobilis, arboris nobilis, arbori nobili, arborum nobilum. So a lot of times they match up because we have a third declension noun and a third declension adjective. But because of the I stem nature of adjectives, we're going to have nobili here, but it's going to be arbore here, arbore nobili, because of the I stem nature of adjectives. We're going to have arbores for trees, nobiles, arboribus, nobilibus, arboribus, nobilibus. And they're almost going to match here. Arborum of the trees. Whoops, arborum, I forgot my R. But we're going to have nobilium because of the I stem nature of adjectives. So our last thing that we're going to do is we're going to construct our sentences. For the second declension ablative, we need to use ligno dulci. What are we going to say? The girl prays with the sweet wood. Let's do that. Puella. And we're going to say praise for the end. So we're going to say cum ligno dulci orat. Puella cum ligno dulci orat. The third one, we need noble tree, but we need it in the accusative. Do we want to say Christ sees the noble tree? Let's do that. Christ would be the subject of our sentence, so we're going to do Christus. And then we'll put noble tree. Arborum nobilem. Read it. Christus arborem nobilem videt. 4. We need arboris dignae. Dignae. So let's say the victory of the noble tree. We'll do Victoria arboris dignae. Let's say is great. So what is great? The victory is great, right? We're not matching great to noble or tree because this is just a prepositional phrase of the noble tree, right? So magna est, right? The victory of the noble tree is great. Victoria arboris dignae magna est. And then we need 5, cruci fideli. We need faithful cross in the dative. So something's got to be happening to the faithful cross. Let's see. What can we say? Let's say the priest gave. So the priest is sacerdos. And then we'll say gave to the end. A gift to the faithful tree. I know this kind of sounds weird, but we're practicing the workings of the language. It doesn't have to make a whole lot of sense here. So donum, right? Donum is a gift. To the faithful tree. Cruci fideli. Dedit. And then lastly, the nominative. So arbor alta. So let's say the tall tree stands on the mountain. We'll begin our sentence with arbor alta. In the mountain. In monte. Because there's mons, montis in the ablative. Oops. There's mons, montis in the ablative, in monte, and stands on the mountain, stat. Arbor alta in monte stat. There. So now we've used each of the epithets for the Holy Cross, which are presented to you in the nominative in the apse of the church, all of them in the nominative, but now we have changed them, put them into different cases, and then used them in sentences. So hopefully now you will remember what all of these mean and kind of know how to work with them. All right. Vale te discipuli.